What's up, y'all? It's your boy A Ward. Just chilling, still in Tennessee, man. Hopefully be back to Kansas City soon. Just wanted to throw some more bars out here, man. I just been writing and reading and writing and reading and praying and reading and praying and writing. And that's what I do. So
Scotty C got this one.
I used to wonder why this man was the chosen. After seeing over the years how destined he was to fulfill his purpose, I no longer question. Due to unique gifts, special lineage, or fate on this path, his role to play I knew would be very vital in what we see with today's artists in terms of independence. I never thought I'd say this, but he's what the game been missing. I mean, we're blessed with GOATs like Loaded Lux, Mook, Hitman Holla, and Arsenal, all first ballot Hall of Fame generational talents. But then there's him.
And the only diamond verse I ever liked was on Nuck if you buck.
The sports bar king and rebuttal GOAT.
You do look like Jesus. I ain't gonna lie, that was hard in a way. But my God wouldn't wear that bummy do-rag. He had a part in the waves. Let's go!
A-Ward, who would cause a glitch in the matrix. Now he's not here to defeat machines and save humanity. He's here to help expand an art form through creativity and originality from a Christian perspective. It goes to show how much this game has evolved into something even more special, giving a voice and an empowering sense of identity to MCs who felt like telling their story under no one's control, taking a career and challenges in their own hands, persevering and reaching levels of success. You can't deny greatness. He's a child of God sent to make the crowd roar and the business whose order needed to be restored. But I must say, he needed to be questioned in this edition of New Legend.
I'm looking out over the chrome crowd. I done switched the whole style. Cause what y'all do when a crown dick is behind you, you slow down.
Scotty C got this one.
I need God badly. I feel like all these gun bars, he is not happy. He's not. He like, Ward, you pulling out Glocks and raps, cocking back and telling your ops, in fact, to drop addies. I said, Lord, don't the Bible say he who is without sin cast the first stone? Mm-hmm. Then he threw rock at me, yo.
A-Ward.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you I was gonna bring you another one. This one right here is very special to me, simply on the basis of I'm standing with somebody who, for me, changed the trajectory of where the game is today. Like he was like really one of the forefathers of that. We're just sticking with independency. As an independent contractor, when it comes to this art form, you know, he stood 10 toes in what he believed in, and he still does it to this day with his content. And then the way he moves as a man, when we talk morality, dignity, and integrity. A-Ward, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing, sir?
I'm blessed, man. Listen, first off, man, thank you, man.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, bro. It is a pleasure to finally be able to chop it up with you, man. And,
it's long overdue.
Definitely, man.
I remember we talked before, and I wanted to do this thing a while back, and we just could not make it happen.
Yep.
And we seen each other this weekend.
Yep. Timing is right for everything, though.
Yeah, divine timing. I
yep.
truly believe in that as well, man.
Yep.
So let's start here. Who's A-Ward? I don't want to know the battle rap.
Okay.
Who's A-Ward?
Man, A-Ward is oh, here we go. Who's Aaron? You know what I mean?
Aaron?
You know,
Let's get to that.
You know, I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
So I'm born and raised in East Tennessee. middle kid, five siblings, or 4 siblings, middle of 5. And bro, I just grew up a sports and hip hop fan. You know, my older brother, seen him plenty times in my battles and stuff like that. I shot him out every intro, Cannon. You know, he took me under my wing because my pops was really not around, and he was a rapper of the family. You know, and so a lot of what I am today comes from, you know, just the tutelage and the idolizing my older brother. And then it comes from just being a sports fan too. I played college basketball. Yep. And so I played sports all through middle school, high school, and then just always loved writing and everything. And then, you know, as far as my faith, you know, that started around the age 15, you know, became a Christian at around 14, 15. And then that's obviously been a huge part of my life as well. So, you know, Aaron's just kind of made up of, like, you know, just a scrawny little kid that used to just be out in the apartment complex, you know, playing sports and everything, but then found that, you know, in like early 2nd, 3rd grade that I was pretty good at writing poems and stuff like that. And then just kind of always honed that craft. And now here I am, a big, you know.
Come on. Yeah. One of the most decorative battle rappers of all time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
And I want to salute you, one of the first artists to ever put my name up in a verse.
Yeah.
You can go from clowning to just bringing awareness with your content. Why is it important for you to be so diverse with your material?
Yeah, because I just think you'd be dumb to think that the people in the crowd aren't diverse with what they want to hear. You know, like there is a person out there that wants the aggression, the believability. There's somebody out there that wants to be entertained, they want to laugh. There's somebody out there that wants to hear crazy punchlines. There's somebody want to hit, you know what I mean? In entertainment and entertaining people, you know, there's hundreds of thousands to millions of people that are watching it online that you're entertaining. And then there's, you know, a lot of times anywhere from, you know, 100 to 2,000 people in the building that you're entertaining. And it's like, my job is to entertain you, you know? And like, you paid this money, you're doing this, you're spending this time with me and my art and my craft. And I want to be able to give somebody something, you know, everybody something. And so, you know, when I was watching battle rap, my favorites were always guys like Bill Collector, like Hollow the Don, like Pat Stay, rest in peace, like Ill Will, you know, like those guys, because they could flip it from, you know, Ill Will could be barring your death, and then the Johnny Alcatraz battle, you know what I mean? Where he's just talking about dude having a tongue ring, you know? And so, and then, you know, you got Hollow who could do boom, boom, and then.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so I was always just like, man, the versatility factor of these guys. And I was like, you know, I do pride myself on like being just, you know, knowledgeable. I could punch, I could do this type of stuff, but I'm a funny dude, you know, like that's part of my character too. Is just kind of being, you know, silly or whatever. So I like to be able to bring that all to the battle rap scene, you know, because I don't want to be up there just crazy aggressive, seeming like the mad, you know, or whatever. And then when you get off stage, just be like, hey, how y'all doing? You know, it's just, it's kind of weird. So
I think that's what makes you so, you know, so lovable, like as an artist. It's easy to love an A-Ward. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to just fall in love with your art. You're very personable as well. How do you develop a style that is so profound and really hard to beat? Like what is, like how do you, so you be like, okay, for this battle I want to do this, or it's just like, no, these are going to be my attributes. But how do you develop that? Like,
well, I mean, a lot of it is, you know, really finding, you know, what your opponent can and can't do, and knowing how to attack it with what you can and can't do. You know what I mean? So every opponent's going to be different. You know, there are opponents that I know, like when I walk in there, like a Shotgun Suge, like, yo, he's towering over me. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be very difficult for me to be in here, like getting crazy aggressive and trying to communicate to the crowd via words that I'll whoop you. You know what I mean? And so like in developing like the style that I have, it's just a big, you know, tool belt of all these different things that I can do. Like I have to assess every battle accordingly and say, all right, I'm battling a female here. You know, like you know,
we got icons like Tech Nine from Strange Music. You got TV media personalities who root for you. How fulfilling is that to see guys, you know, that on TV, like national television, you know, reciting your rhyme. Like just they're literally live and they quoting A Ward. Like how fulfilling is that?
Very simple, Marcellus. It's a Tesla to a skateboard. It's a Bentley to a RAV4. It's hiccups to stage 4. It's not a conversation and it's not a competition.
Pray for. It's a Tesla to a skateboard. Open mic to a Drake tour. The hiccups to stage 4.
It was like the first few times like someone like followed me or just like knew me, and I'm like, how do you know? You know what I mean? Like it's so wild, you know. Until you like, I build like real like if I'm able to, I build like real friendships like with these people. You know what I mean? To where it's like, you know, we don't talk weekly or whatever, but it's like, how's your family? How's boom? You know what I mean? And then when you realize that like entertainers in other industries, sports, music, all this kind of stuff, they're relaxing, right? By being entertained by something that's totally different than sports, right? You know, I go home from battle rap and I watch sports. That's my outlet. A sports guy goes home and watches battle rap, you know? Crazy, so we are to them what they are to us. So there's a reciprocity there, you know? And so, but I think the biggest thing is it's just kind of like, anytime people just recognize the talent, or you know, like you said, you know, sports analysts like my guy Emmanuel Acho. You know, I was able to go out to California and work, you know, with him and just kind of brainstorm and pick brains and stuff like that in different. It's just really dope, man. There's been a lot, man. I've definitely been in some situations where I'm like fanning out. You know what I mean? Like, oh, such and such followed you. Usain Bolt like my reel this week. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Usain Bolt.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just like, I'm like, yo, are you serious? You know, like, yeah. But it was, it's been really fun. And then, you know, just like I said, that's a great feeling, man. I couldn't have done life without music and sports. Like that's what I love to do, you know? Watch sports, listen to music. Like it got me through so many dark times. Right. And to know that like I'm providing that to somebody is just super dope. And that's why I take my craft so serious.
For sure, for sure. When did this luxurious journey that you're on begin? Like how did you learn about the art form?
My older brother, obviously, you know, he put me on the battle rap. And so, you know, probably early 2000s, you know, Smack DVD, you know, different things like that. When grind time was starting to pop off in the what was that, probably 2009, you know, something like that. You know, just always, he stayed such in tune with the culture. My older brother battle rapped, you know, back then it was on beat, you know, he would go to all the spots, smoke people all around, you know, Knoxville. And Knoxville's not the, you know, not a mecca for hip hop, you know, but he was known in Nashville and Memphis, you know, as one of them dudes, you know. And so he was always so plugged into the culture that, you know, yo, you gotta check this out. Yo, you gotta check this out. Boom, boom, you know. And so I became just a fan instantly of the craft, you know. And at that time, I'm also a writer. I'm a poet. I'm doing different things or whatever. And so I'm plugged in. I'm watching it as a fan, and I never thought in my life like, oh, you're gonna be a battle rapper one day, you know? And like, I mean, I went probably close to 10 years of watching battle rap before I ever did it.
Wow.
You know? And so, so I just think that's just a really cool full circle moment to be, you know, like to be considered one of BET's top 50 battle rappers ever.
Ever, bro.
You know?
Ever.
And I'm like, bro, this makes no sense. Like, this is what I watched, you know? Like, but yeah, man, this is really dope.
We got yourself, Loso, The Saga, Street Hymns, Oops, if I'm not mistaken, correct? In my opinion, one of the most dynamic, creative groups in battle rap, all time though. What is, you know, fellowship with a Horseman like? Like, what is that fellowship like?
Just a group of believers who know too much is given, much is required. Martin Lloyd-Jones once said that preaching is theology on fire. We know our skills are nothing without the power of God. We never want our battles to become merely mental exercises, but rather an outflow of what God is already doing in our lives. That's why we're more concerned with impacting the culture rather than impressing it.
It's real life, you know. Horsemen is more real life than it is battle rap, you know. And that's just, you know, of course we're all 5 battle rappers or whatever, but like just we really just care about each other on a personal level. You know, if somebody needs something, if I need to fly out here and do this, if you're getting married, I'm coming to your wedding. If you're having a baby, I'm sending the baby shower gift. You know, like we really all 5 just vibe on a personal level. You know, and we all just want to see each other succeed as men, as husbands, as fathers, as, you know. And I think that like any kind of coalition or whatever you're forming, if you want it to be genuine, authentic, and transparent, because bro, that's the biggest thing. Like, we're all battle rappers, right? Like, how many battle rap groups is one dude looking at the other dude like, man, I should have got that battle, and that can easily happen. That pride and everything can easily creep up. You know what I mean? And so just the transparency, the being genuine, and just caring for each other, just on a brother level. And that's why it was just really easy to have us 5 together. And you haven't seen us ever like pull other people in, because we just like to protect that. You know?
The Saga was the first on the scene. I've seen it. I see the energy, his art, creative. This guy right here is the one. And then here come you guys following right out. I said, there's more. Yes.
He's like, why you still holding the door open? And then now you just,
there's more. And you guys just got a way of just being very, very entertaining. And then you guys have messages too. And that's what I love about it more so than anything. How and when did, you know, this Horsemen thing become a thing? And when did it start? Yeah,
it started, I think it was early 2017, maybe. And it started like, I always tell people Street Hymns is the glue of it all, you know? It started originally as the 4 Horsemen before we added Oops. And Street Hymns had just a personal friendship relationship with all of us, you know? And one of the big things, like just being a Christian and everything, is how we're operating in public spaces, our testimony, our example, you know, how we communicate with people, how we love people, all of that kind of stuff is scrutinized, because we're like, hey, we hold ourselves to a higher standard, you know? And so, you know, as coming in as Christian battle rappers, and we're not like a part of a group, we're all just Tampa, Dallas, New York, Kansas City. Hymns was always just checking in with everybody, like, yo, you good? Like, how was that event? Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, you know, you dealing with anything like pride, love, you know, lust, pride, all this kind of stuff, because that's just how you operate in fellowship with each other as Christians. And it just was like, man, there's 4 of us and we're all 4 really good. You know, we talking about divine timing. Saga came on early. When Hymns, Loso and me came on, we all came on like at the same time. And we all were like, they were all like, yo, these dudes are really good. You know? And like, it's like, yo, we're all performing at a very high level. We're getting booked at events. You know, like maybe we should just start a group chat or something and just, you know, hold each other accountable, pray for each other, do different things like that, you know? And like I said, Hymns just had a great relationship with all of us. And I had talked to Saga once before. I talked to Loso like after his first battle on the phone, but it wasn't anything where we jumped in like a group chat and just started talking to each other, finding out, you know, who you are, what you do, you know, stuff like that. And it was just really seamless, man. When you have a goal in mind of it's not about me, even though it's battle rap, where guess what? It's supposed to be all about you, right? You know, but when you have a goal in mind of it's not about me, and I just want to go and rap, I tell people all the time, like Colossians 3:23 is my favorite verse, because it's whatever you do heartily as unto God and not unto man, right? It's like, I want to go here and I want to rap on a level to where I'm just like, look, I'm doing this for you, and if they like it, cool, because it's not about me. You know, like I have those brothers like that, and it's like, yo, we can really go out here and impact the world. We always talk about that. Impact over impress. That's always something we always talk about. Bro, impact is so much bigger than impressing. Like somebody can impress me on the street easily, you know?
But that's a great segue, because literally I have here impact or impress as a follow-up question. You said impact. Why is it important to impact versus impress?
Man, listen, like the people that have impacted my life, like, still get me through adversity. You know what I mean? And those words that they might have said in passing, and it might not even be somebody who's my best friend. It might have been at one point in time, there was a professor in college who I told him, like, I overdrafted my account. You know what I mean? I'm got finals coming up and everything. And he was like, look, here's $500. When you get big one day, give somebody $500. You know what I mean? And I still remember Stacy. Nebraska fan, professor. You know what I mean?
When it happened.
Yeah, and we're talking 2006.
What
you know what I mean?
Had on.
Yeah. All of that, you know. And I just remember he saw value in me, and he saw somebody that he felt like he could impact, and he was like, "This is, you know." And I don't know where I do this today, you know. And so you don't get too much time to really spend with everybody, you know. And I went to a funeral one time, and it was a packed out funeral, bro. It was thousands of people like that. And you would have thought this was maybe a celebrity or something like that. And it was just a dude I hooped with or whatever. And when they were speaking, they were like, he was significant in the moment. Like when you met him, he was always significant in the moment, you know? And it's like, I could just dap it up, oh, good to see you, boom, boom, or we could just chop it up and go watch a game and have a beer or whatever. But no, he always found time to just to impact or be significant, you know? And that's why so many people showed up for his funeral, because he took that time. And so that's why I just think, man, like, we don't get a lot of time on this earth. You're not promised the next day. You know, there might be somebody out there that I chopped it up with last night, took a picture with, gave him a hug, and just said, "Listen, I appreciate you." You know that. And
they gonna remember that moment forever. They gonna remember that moment forever. Loaded Lux, you stated as your favorite battle rapper of all time. One who has a huge impact on this community. From the time you watched in the beginning, right, and you meeting him in what I believe is 2018. What was the draw for you when it came to Loaded Lux?
With Lux, man, it was the swagger, it was the lyrics, it was the, you know, it was, man, him and Mook, him and, you know, Calico, like, it was the theatrics, the entertainment, it was all of that, you know. And then, like I said before, I'm big on versatility. We always talk about how, you know, rewind to find the, you know, like he's so layered, right? More to find, right? But the man was like in a suit, bringing the casket out, you know what I mean? Like he was a part of the theater of it too, you know, and he was entertaining on those levels. And then he had the message, right?
For sure.
He had the message. It wasn't all like, I'm a shoot, kill, do, boom, boom. It was like, he's in here talking to your soul, you know?
Yeah, the evolution of Lux is crazy because the earlier stages, he was that. Right? Fast way to Harlem is A-Train. We like this.
And it's your mother in time,
But to just see where he's at now, man, the way he carried himself, I can see why. Because you carry yourself in the same manner.
And I appreciate that too. And I think you see it with multiple battle rappers that as their life changes, their material changes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're not being something that,
I feel like it's supposed to. I mean, you see it with cats on the mainstream level. When you talk Jay-Z. Right? You ain't gonna hear Jay-Z talking about he was talking to back in, the early 90s and whatnot, you know what I'm saying?
And we miss some of that. We miss some of the nostalgia. We're like, man, all right, I get it. You on an island in some, like $3,000 basketball shorts. All right, trying to hear that. The same with Eminem. Like, I miss when you was on drugs. You was rapping like crazy, you know? But it's like, we do have the nostalgia of where we fell in love, but then as an artist and as an adult, right? Like, you have to be able to appreciate, like, like he's rapping about, and he's still just insanely good. But yeah, that was the draw, man. Getting to meet Lux. I met him for the first time when Loso battled Chef TREZ on that volume. I think that was the first time I met him. So that was 2018, I believe, or 2018. And man, just down to earth. Just, you know, there's most battle rappers. There's very few battle rappers that are like kind of unapproachable and be like, all right, whatever. But Lux, man, just a solid dude.
How hard is it for you, right, to stay true to yourself? And the message you choose to deliver in this art form, right? Really, that's mainly sold on boast and brag, gun this, gun tote that, right? Like, how is it hard for you at all to stay true to yourself?
Ever gonna win a spelling bee if she can't spell with B? I'm doing this with hella ease.
What else?
Y'all call it a spelling C? I'm doing this with hella ease. After you and Gotti, I want Nitty, Suge, Surf, Active, and Vicious. I call it crossing the 7 C's. I'm that nice.
Yeah, so the idea of true to myself is...
And the reason why I say so, not to cut you off, is because a lot of people feel like they gotta cater to a certain crowd. And for me as a fan, you know, I'm a fan of you because of what you do. If you just do what you do at the best of your ability, you can never lose. And that's always been my MO when it comes to me placing a winner, versus elusive.
Yeah.
Right. So, talk to me a little bit about that. Like, when you stand sound and fundamentally sound with yourself.
Yeah, I think like you say, like that, it's a draw. Some people look at it as a handicap, right? So some people say, oh, he's handicapped. He can't just cuss somebody out or talk derogatory or just shoot him and kill him every line or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's also a draw because there's people out there that don't want to hear that over and over, you know? Yeah. And so the one thing about me, true to myself, is just in every aspect of life, especially in hip hop, like the minute I start appearing to be not authentic, it's like blood in the water, right? You know, like you know, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm more well received whenever I came into hip hop, because as I rap, they're not like, all right, Malibu's most wanted. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like there's a story. There's a an authenticity about me that you can just hang out with me and understand, like, this has been a part of my life for a long time, you know? And so, but like, just content wise, like, to me, like, I don't want to leave the stage, which without saying God is good all the time, because that's, you know, but I am also a competitor, right? And even as a Christian competitor, I'm mindful of not going too far over the line with some content, but I'm like, yo, I'm cool with kind of being a little swagged out, bragging like I could do this, I could do that. Like when Curry crosses somebody over, you know, he got the little shimmy, you know, he loved the Lord too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, I look at it like that, like Tim Tebow, you know, he was putting his shoulder into people, like, you know, I'm just like, okay, you can compete in the sport, even though it's with words, on a level of like, I got this, but I don't never want the totality of my rounds to make it seem like I'm something I'm not. Right. You know, whether or not a bar comes in here, you know, or there, whatever, that might not perfectly line up with, you know, whatever. And so, but I just think that, you know, staying true to who I am has got me where I'm at. And like, I think I'm in a pretty good spot right now.
If someone never seen you right before on any platform, I don't care what platform it is, what are the top 3 battles you recommending to that person?
Me versus VIIXEN. I think that's one of the top 3. Oh my God. Me versus Bill Collector. I tell people that one as well. And then me versus Rum Nitty.
Shirley, wait! You don't understand. I'm crazy. I'm the terminal one. This gripper sent him to the pearly gates. So what I'm gonna give this C-38s, I'm
probably my top 3. Now that's if those are like if nobody's seen me, but they kind of have an idea of what battle rap is, you know? Like I have some other battles like against St. Mike and against Chef TREZ, where if you've never watched battle rap before,
Chef TREZ the one for me.
Yeah, if you've never watched battle rap before, I'll put you onto that because it's got everything in it. And it's so, it's so.
And to just see where Chef TREZ is now, to see where you are now, like you guys, man.
Yep.
Like the best of the best, man. Like it's beautiful to see. I like that. A-Ward's performing, like I said, Chef TREZ, one of my faves, hometown league, insane back and forth. You, Bill.
I think Bill like just really,
man.
It shows like everything I bring to battle rap. You know, it's got the entertainment, it's got the triple entendre scheme in the BC era, it's got all of this stuff, you know, impressions and everything.
It's the versatility from both you guys.
Yep.
Like it's beautiful because you're not knowing what you're gonna get.
Yep.
Some artists you just know, okay, he finna do this, he finna do that.
Yep.
Every round is just something.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Something different. You ILLMAC, Ill Will is another one for me.
Yeah.
And then the A-VERB.
Call me racist, thinking surely I'ma get mad. Let VERB tell it Christians can't use guns. They tell Bible stories, then they lift mags. My response, turn to Isaiah 57. Now turn the Glock 40 on your bitch ass.
Yeah, the A-VERB was that. Yeah, it was that one, man. It was that one.
Because cats feel like they can bully you, and you don't let it happen.
Yeah,
you can't bully
no, we're not doing that.
We talk about from personalities in this game.
Yeah.
To media in this game, to the artists on stage, like A-Ward, man, we're gonna stand 10 toes.
Yeah.
It's who I am, and you about to get the best version of me tonight. Yeah. I'm gonna make it hard for you, and you make it hard. The win percentage is crazy right now, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I ain't seen someone this sorry since J. Cole. I grew up rapping Jay-Z. You grew up singing J-Lo. I was watching And1 mixtapes, practicing every day, bro. My favorite street baller was Hot Sauce. Your favorite street baller was Ayo.
Rebuttal game crazy.
Yep.
Right? I want you to name your hoop squad, right? So we got a game. We talking, basketball terminology. We got a game in the most hostile environment.
Okay.
Who's your starting 5? MCs that you taking out on this road with you that can rebuttal and get the job done on a rebuttal freestyling tip.
Okay, bet. Chef TREZ, definitely up there. I'm taking Sharon.
Wow.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm taking DNA.
DNA, there he is.
I'm taking TREZ, Sharon, DNA. I'm taking.
And yourself, you need one more. Yourself is included. You need one more.
It's got to come down to either.
One more.
I'm taking Clips.
Clips, Charlie.
Yep.
Yep. That is you guys, on the road.
Yep.
Oh my God, you'll have a way.
Yep.
Y'all, you guys that have fun.
Nice AI bars. I like a few of them lines.
Right.
Another legend, another month. Yeah, I'm used to the grind.
Right.
Ended this round with Loopy to reference the drowsy feeling from the lean he been using at times. Right. So tonight, if we gonna talk about the legend of Sleepy Hollow, it's gotta start with a horseman losing his mind.
There's fearless rebuttalers, and then there's technical rebuttalers. There's different types of rebuttalers, and you need those. You need the skill set of a guy like Clips that can entertain you with a rebuttal, and the guys like DNA and Sharon that are just kind of relentless and can just boom, boom, boom. And then TREZ and myself, I think we're more like technical punchline. Man. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
The Charlie against Geechee, he stole the whole, like it steals the whole show.
Yep.
Like we talking about from rounds 1 through 3.
Yep.
Like this one moment, that's all we talking about. DNA on stage with Jerry West taking the basketball.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how you do it?
Yep.
How do you do it?
Yep.
And then, I could just go on and on with moments, but you guys, to hear you say there's different types is even crazy. Because I just think when you watch, you just think, okay, rebuttal, even a rebuttal.
No, yeah.
And then you said there are different styles to rebuttal, and I think
there's
dope.
guys that they can do it mid round, they can do it here, they can do it, they can break off from their opponent and do it to the crowd.
Come on,
you know what I mean, and get back to their opponent. There's all different kinds of type styles for that. And I always tell people, for me, it's like my job is to rap what I wrote. So to impress myself, I like to rebuttal, because I'm gonna go there and rap what I wrote. I've been writing it. I'm gonna rap it. I need to do something that's gonna make me love this battle a little bit more for myself. So listening to my opponents and having rebuttals and stuff like that makes it a lot more fun for me.
That's dope. Honorable mention for me, Bangs.
Bangs, yeah. I say Bangs and Hollow. And Danny Myers. Danny Myers has come on a long way.
Danny came a long way.
Yep.
Danny came a long way. Hollow obviously is Hollow. When it's all said and done, man, what is your legacy?
That's a good question. I think that when people look at my entire body of work, what I want them to say is that he gave it all. You know what I mean?
Right.
He left it all out on the field. Like you said earlier, he stood 10 toes down. He approached every battle. He accepted every deposit with humility, with I appreciate this opportunity. I'm gonna go out here and make the league owner proud, the fan proud, and my opponent proud. And and so I just hope that when my legacy is looked at in the full scale of it, that people are just like, yo, he was one of the best in the world talent-wise, for sure. But he was the best in the world to work with.
Come on.
And that's my biggest compliments I get from league owners or staff at hotels that I stay there or whatever, is just like, yo, you're so easy to work with. You're so a joy to work with. This industry is full of headaches and all kinds of people trying to boom, boom, boom.
For sure.
But booking you was seamless. You know what I mean? And I just really think that your character shows in the little things outside of the battle rap world.
There are those other intangibles for sure. Your insight, perspective mind, right, will forever be needed in this culture. When can we expect another episode of Run That Back?
Man, so you gonna think it's fire when I run that back?
What's goody good, y'all? A Ward, Team Daily, YTG, IV. I want to thank you for tuning in to the pilot episode of Run That Back. We're gonna do a series focused on one round from one of my battles where we go back into the round. I tell you why I wrote it, give you context around the bars, insight, or maybe just explain the bar to you that went over your head.
I need to bring that back.
I don't understand
completely.
why you stopped Running That Back.
I stopped it because when I first started doing it, and it looked really good, but I was paying a dude to come over and edit it and film it. Now, I don't have none of the setup myself.
I got you.
And so I was like, man, I don't know if I can really afford like $200, $300 a month. You know, I don't know how important it was to me, you know? But now what's crazy is like, I'm just not super technologically savvy, but I'm like, we do a podcast every week, me and my guy A1, and on StreamYard, I'm like, yo, I could just bring the battles up and just record it like that and like do a very, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, I need to bring it back because I was actually planning on doing it for, what was the recent battle I just had? The Hollow battle. I was gonna do, I think one of my first or second round, because I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too, man. As a avid watcher, a fan of you, right? And just to see you in that space, just breaking stuff down, it really takes you through the ideology of why I did this, right? And when it went this way, here's why I went that way. Right?
Stop, because let him tell it, he loved hecklers. Let him tell it, he loved hecklers. But he wanted to get in that boxing ring with that robe silk and them gloves leather. He told Shotgun Suge, I'm gonna show you who really punch better. He spent months training for a crip, only to lose the blood pressure.
Any last words for the people that are fans of you? Any last words for the people that you
Listen, I tell people this all the time. My favorite fans are the ones that say, Ward, I was the biggest A Ward hater for years. And then this
as
battle,
lovable as this guy is,
man,
you have some people out there that just want to see the demise.
And then they'll be like,
I don't want him to win.
They'll be like, it was this battle where I said, I gotta stop denying this, you know? Because ultimately your friends, your family, people that are like-minded, Christians, whatever, they're gonna be like, oh, he's my favorite or whatever. But it's like, man, like, I really work hard at what I do, and I put a lot of effort into trying to be better, trying to be sharper, trying to perfect my craft. And so it's like, man, like if you're out there and you don't like A Ward, all right, cool, you know. But I guarantee you something's gonna happen in the next couple of years, and you're gonna send me that tweet. You'll be like, all right, bro. I just followed you, you know.
I give up, man.
Yeah. So no, but yeah, most of all, man, love God, love people, bro. Come on, love God, love people. And you know, if you're watching this and the God thing is not your thing, cool. Love people. Love people and impact people on a positive note. You never know what anybody's going through whenever you meet them at the gas station or you check out at the restaurant or whatever. But yeah, man, this world needs a lot more people that just want to just smile and say have a good day.
Yeah, life is perspective, and we need more love. Thank you for your time.
Nah, man, thank you. It's a pleasure, bro.
Thank you for just being you. Continue being you, and never let anything stop you from being you. And I'm pretty sure you already know that. Ladies and gentlemen, A Ward, I am the Fanatic. If you try to do one, I'm gonna do two. If you try to do three, I might just do four, maybe even more. A lot of my folks call me PLLO. A Ward, God is good.
All the time, man.
You already.
Like a local vape shop, Bravado black lads with the open face watch. My cheap MADFLEX with the smoky gray top. Off-road doing donuts like a overweight guy. He ain't got the heart to be feeling this. I'm on the road every match. I be caught in the wilderness. You be here in front of a lot of affiliates. A homer, like the author of the Iliad. But it takes a real gladiator to show Marcus how really is. This is silliness. I just think your boss has watered down your talent to the point now your battle rounds I skip through, bruh. It's like watching Rugrats. I feel a little way, cause back in the day, every time he repped our culture, clips blew up. But now, Chucky too scared to try, and I feel like I'm just watching a Nick Jr. This suture. I said I have to be snapping. I want haymaker after haymaker. I need the battle rap fanatic reactions. The loud boys getting bread. Y'all salary capping. If I'm lying, God can strike me down right now. Actually, in this footage, that can actually happen.